I made an SML island in Tomodachi Life, and some absolute crazy things happened. Okay, can I drop the SML slop channel act now? If you somehow don't know, by watching the past 8 videos on my channel, I have been so excited for Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. And if you also didn't know, SML is probably one of my favorite YouTube channels, ever, even if it's a little embarrassing to say. I've made a lot of content about both topics, so it just seems natural to mix both topics together and put SML characters on my Tomodachi Life Island. So I did exactly that, and this is how it went. I started off by naming my island my insanely creative name and making my first meet. And this is definitely a hard choice. There's a good few main characters in SML, but in the end, I decided to make the OG main character, Marvin. And this is probably the time I should specify I am making the puppet versions of the characters, and not the plushie versions, sadly. So, I make the best Marvin me that I possibly can and fill his personality out. He's pretty flat. Marvin, you're a really flat guy. Don't got a flat ass, though, if you know what I mean. Oh. Reserved. Marvin is a perfectionist, imaginative and inspired, happiest when creating something, finds beauty in everyone and everything. Are we sure that this is Marvin? After this, though, they asked me what name I would like all of my loyal me's to call me, in which I choose the creative name of Logan Thirstyacre. I start feeding nachos to him because Marvin's a fat ass and he's hungry or something, I guess. And then I stare at Marvin so long he starts to look like an ugly bug that I want to stomp on. Then Nintendo finally lets Marvin free of his house, and he screams the name of the game at the top of his lungs in excitement. This is where our playthrough truly begins, but we are just stuck with Marvin for a little bit. So I feed him some food, pet his ugly, bald 40-year-old head, and give him a little bit of personality. And finally, Marvin explains his immense loneliness to us and asks us to make him a friend. So I get to work in the meme maker, and I make the absolute best and absolutely not terrifying at all Jeffy me ever made on this planet. We craft out a little personality for Jeffy, and now Marvin has his all-time best friend ready to have fun with him on the island. And by that, I mean I force them to become best friends. And Marvin shows off his iconic party hips to Jeffy. What the fuck, Marvin? What are you doing? But Jeffy thinks he can take their friendship even further. So he consults me and asks what him and Marvin should even talk about. I dug deep through my brain, searching for the utmost creative and thoughtful prompt ever to be typed into Tomodachi Life Living the Dream.
Got it. I'll go talk to him about an orangutan pussy.
Coming up, we got Justin Bieber's latest hit single, Orangutan Pussy.
Orangutan pussy! Orangutan pussy! Orangutan pussy! Daddy, this song is gay as fuck!
Morning, Marvin. Do you feel like talking about an orangutan pussy?
Sure. But let me ask you this. Let's say you're offered a large orangutan pussy or a small orangutan pussy. Jeffy, which do you choose?
Well, that's easy. I have to go with the larger orangutan pussy, hands down.
Right? Of course you would. Everybody knows a Mondo-sized orangutan pussy is the only choice. I like the way you think, Jeffy.
You know, I could honestly sit here and talk about a massive orangutan pussy for hours. Did we just become friends?
Yup.
And they do finally give me the option to give Marvin and Jeffy nicknames for each other, so of course I take the opportunity to nickname Marvin Daddy. And since the two residents of our island are besties now, we get our right to add a third me to our island. But if Marvin and Jeffy are living here, who's gonna collect their house payment from the wishing fountain? Mr. Goodman, of course.
Shut the fuck up!
And he is my choice for my third me on our island. I fill out his personality, and this is also a good chance to include the information that I have made every single character on this island bisexual. There are absolutely no limits to who can and can't fall in love with each other. But with that information, we have our very own Mr. Goodman on our island, and honestly, for some reason, he might just be my favorite of all the me's I've made. I might just have a bias towards Goodman himself, but I don't want to pat myself on the back too much, but I honestly think I kinda nailed this me's look and personality almost perfectly. He looks a little boring, but, I mean, he's Mr. Goodman. But then, I make all of my me's interact with each other just a little bit more to level up a little bit, and make some more friendships. Even surprisingly with Marvin and Goodman. And eventually, I get access to the clothing shop for all my characters. We get some absolute perfect outfits for all of our characters in the meantime, before we get access to the super customization. And I debate buying the red hat for Marvin in the store quite a bit, but I decide not to. And everybody on our island is looking absolutely fly now. Jeffy even recreates a real SML episode. And now, with a fourth character unlocked on our island, I decided to add the obvious choice for a fourth character. Marvin's trusting partner, who's always there for him wherever he needs him, and the love of his life, Brooklyn T Guy. I think that this is the worst looking me that I've made, but I still really like him. He's just incomplete until I have an Applebee's on my island. This is also only version 1 of Brooklyn Guy, as I do plan on adding individual guys for each job that he has, as well as, of course, Does Bad Things Guy. And because Brooklyn Guy is just the coolest guy ever, he challenges me to a game of red light, green light, because he can't get over Squid Games, I guess. And he loses horribly, because I am the absolute undisputed champion at red light, green light. And because I won, he gives me a Fortnite llama, and I give him a Hawaiian shirt in return, since I don't have any matching clothes for him yet. I'm then informed by Goodman that he just really wants to speak to Marvin, because he's his best friend. So I bring the two together to talk about the one thing that they both know best.
Morning, Marvin. Do you feel like talking about paying the house payment?
Sure, but tell me, Goodman, how good are you at paying the house payment?
I don't want to brag or anything, but I don't think you'll find anyone on all of SML who's better at paying the house payment than me.
That's amazing. I really respect folks who are good at paying the house payment. Wanna be friends?
It somehow grows them closer than they were before, but I give Goodman a little bit more personality, and now they're both super besties. But Little does Marvin know, Goodman is like Norman Osborn. The house payment will slowly overtake him and warp his mind into something twisted and destroyed and dark and deep and painful and emo and stuff. But never minding that, because we need to get views, Jeffy asks for reassurance that him and Marvin are good friends. And because of that, Jeffy levels up and we're able to give him his famous catchphrase, "Oont." But after patrolling the island for a while, everything seems to be going just fine, and everybody is getting along pretty well, until the unthinkable happens. Mario and Goodman start to become a little too good of friends.
Yeah, I'm okay. Well, I'm happy no one got hurt. See you later. I never knew Mr. Goodman could transfix me like this. I hope he looks at me. No, I'm too nervous. I think I'm falling in love with Mr. Goodman.
That's right. Marvin is officially in love with Mr. Goodman. We are brewing toxic yaoi so good it could make you cry. Marvin even starts role-playing with himself as his own crush. And we unlock the T&C Reno store and give our characters some nice interiors for their houses. I searched for an interior with a red couch, but sadly I do not have any unlocked yet. So I settled on some pretty cool interiors for all of our characters and this awesome all-seeing eye interior for Goodman. And with that, we unlock our 5th member of our island. But before I can actually make the me, Goodman makes me play a round of Zoom quiz, and I lose because of his confusing fancy objects that he throws in there. But uh-oh, Goodman is stuck or something, and of course we drag Marvin over to help him. And finally, I'm able to make my 5th me, which I choose to be my beloved Shrek. And I give him the best possible outfit that I can give to him right now. But while looking over all of my me's, I catch a glance that Jeffy is dreaming of something right now. So I decided to catch a glimpse of what he's dreaming about, and...
Who do you think is the coolest person on SML? Easy answer. It's definitely Jeffy. I think you meant me.
There's not a lot of competition around here.
Hypothesis. Jeffy is an extremely talented individual.
I concur. Extremely talented.
And then we're rewarded with a restaurant menu. That's gonna be a perfect gift later for Brooklyn Guy, but I mean, that's kind of a pretty crappy gift. But then immediately after, it finally happens. The feelings are mutual, and Mr. Goodman falls deeply in love with Marvin. But neither of them still know that they love each other. Things are really starting to heat up on the island. So I introduce Marvin to Shrek, and they start having a pretty good conversation. But then, a little later, Marvin asks for a bench, and we unlock the quick build shop. And because of that, we unlock a 6th resident, in which I finally decide to bite the bullet, and I make a Rose me. And, yeah, I take it back. This is definitely the worst looking me on my island now. We build a little path for Rose so she can civilize with everybody else, and then we unlock the ability to make as many characters as we want to. And by as many characters as what we want to. I mean, like 70 Miis, but that's still a whole lot of Miis. And since we're kind of just rapid fire unlocking things, I end up talking to Marvin and unlock the pallet house, and am asked to make them a food, in which I make the most iconic SML food, green beans. I'm sorry, Milk and Cookies, but you know it's true. And as a form of revenge, I immediately feed them to Marvin, and then of course feed them right to Jeffy and force him to eat them. But something must have been wrong with those green beans, because Marvin has a bad case of the hiccups now. So, of course, I call in Mr. Goodman to help him. Mr. Goodman saves him, and they end up leaving and going back to Mr. Goodman's place, and end up hanging out over there and getting all steamy and... oh no. I noticed Goodman needed something, so I decided to see what was up, and to nobody's surprise, he asked me if he can live with Marvin. And as fun as that does sound, I want to make the actual characters that live together actually live together first, so I politely decline him. And Rose also wants some attention, so I let her talk to Jeffy, and they have a pretty nice conversation about Jeffy's favorite food, chocolate cake, which of course goes great. And that gives us the ability to give Rose a nickname from Jeffy. But with no further distractions, I hop into the Mii Maker and I craft our beautiful Junior Mii. I get him some clothes to make him look the part fully, and I unlock a kitchen interior for a special someone we'll be making later. I see Brooklyn guy has the hiccups, so I drag Marvin over to help him in this dire situation, and he helps him. And I hop straight back into the Mii Maker and cook up our Joseph, his friend from school, Mii. This gives us some more island room to work with, but since I'm kinda locked into Mii making right now, I'll do our island customization in a little bit. So I get Joseph some clothes, and as I give them to him, he asks if I want to go bowling. So I knock him all over in comedic fashion, and I get a nice Nintendo Switch role-playing game as my reward. But I give Joseph his outfit, and he loves it. And out of the corner of my eye, I see that Marvin is dreaming about something. So I decide to take a peek at what it is, and, it's whatever though, because we unlock our right price pawn shop, and this obviously inspires something in Mr. Goodman as he starts staring into the sky, thinking about his beautiful crush Marvin. But before any feelings can blossom into anything bigger, we need to complete the main 3 of the junior videos, or the Skeeter Boys. I'm not fucking calling them that for the entire video. So I get to work on our Cody Mii, and well, I do think I could have done a better job. He is probably the most off-looking Mii on our island, like, period. But it's Cody, so who really cares? I care, but I mean, this is the best that I could do. And his outfit is definitely the most complicated to translate over, but I think I did the best with the options we have available to us right now before we unlock the clothing option at the pallet house. But out of the corner of my eye, I catch a peek that Mr. Goodman is interested in something, so I decide to interact with him, and this is what we see.
Marvin, looking lovely as ever. What the fuck? Marvin, look out! I got you, Marvin.
Nah, I'm good. Fuck ass Goodman. Goodman is so in love with Marvin, and Marvin is so in love with Goodman too. It's only gonna be so long until they discover their true feelings for each other. Things are really heating up on the island. But I force some friendships upon my Miis, so they fit their actual personalities better, and friendships start blossoming between them all. And Joseph is a green beans type of person, I guess. But this levels Joseph up, and I give him his famous catchphrase at the end of all of his sentences. Brooklyn Guy then asks me a personal question about an activity I'd like to compete in, so I decide to reference the best SML episode of all time and make it the best chef competition. I then spend an embarrassing amount of time upsizing our island so we can fit everything on it better, and yet it still looks pretty ugly, but that's fine. And as soon as I'm done, I notice Jeffy has the hiccups. So, of course, I go find Marvin to help Jeffy, but he's having a sleepover with Goodman. How could I possibly ever interrupt that? So, I choose the obvious second choice to help him. Junior! But he's unsure what to do and just kinda walks away. So I call the third best option and get Joseph over there, and he solves the problem perfectly. They then both enter max chill mode. Whatever that means. But we have enough warm fuzzies now to unlock the clothing option at the pallet house, so that is what I choose. But before we get super customizing all of our clothing, we need to make the most important Mii on the entire island, the backbone of our entire society, and a true top dog of the island. Chef Pee-Pee. He's so beautiful, truly the best Mii on our island. He even has his iconic poop nose. And since we don't have a chef outfit yet, I decide to give Chef Pee-Pee the second best option. But as soon as Chef Pee-Pee steps out of his house, Junior immediately spots him and literally jogs over to him simply to bug Chef Pee-Pee. But since this Chef Pee-Pee variant still has no idea of the torture that lies ahead of him, they hit it off and start becoming friends. Because of all this, Junior levels up and I decide to give him a laptop. Because, when has that ever gone wrong? Ever. But I decide to check up on Goodman, and he decides that he just can't take it anymore. He needs to tell Marvin how he feels, or else he's going to burst. So I find the perfect place in the city, and I choose a perfect topic for them to confess their love to each other with, and I send them at it.
Pay your damn house payment, Marvin.
Hold it right there, rich donkey! The one who truly loves donkey is me.
I'm the one who always loved Marvin, even more than life itself.
Donkey! Which one of us do you choose?
Goodman, I'd love to go out with you.
What the fuck, donkey? As sad as it is to see Marvin deny his lifelong best friend of a relationship, I can't say I blame him, considering, you know. And Mario and Goodman have just had that good of chemistry on the island. So far, it's only right that they become our island's first official couple. And because of this, Goodman levels up, and I'm able to give him another little quirk. After this, though, things slow down on the island for a bit, and all of our Miis are kinda just enjoying themselves. That is, until I see Joseph fell down and needs help getting up. So, of course I bring Junior over to help, and hopefully he actually does something this time. Thankfully, he does do something, and this grows Junior and Joseph even closer together. Then Shrek asks me to play yet another game of bowling with him, and I fail miserably. My Switch then decides to absolutely mess up and not record anything for like 40 minutes, but during this time, I unlock custom clothing at the Palette House, and I make some pretty cool clothes for Junior, Joseph, and Jeffy to make them look a little bit more like their real selves. But then I check on Cody really quick to see that he's trying to catch butterflies. If I had a nickel for how many times I reference Bowser Jr.'s YouTube channel in this video, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. All of my Miis are pretty hungry though, so I head back to the Palette House and I cook up some MFN caterpillars for them to all eat. They absolutely love it, and everyone on my island is pretty much just chilling for a minute, until Jeffy asked me to play a game with him, and god damn it, fine Jeffy, I'll play fucking bowling with you. I play the bowling minigame, I lose, like always, and then I clear Chef Pee-Pee's brain of a bunch of popsicles. This obviously inspires him so much, he opens his own restaurant, as we then unlock the Tomodachi restaurant. I then do a little bit of remodeling and realize I accidentally gave Rose a direct path to socialization by putting her in the town, so I move her to the beach to completely isolate her from all of the characters with actual personalities. Junior and Cody then go out to eat at the Tomodachi restaurant and start gossiping about Joseph's true nature. I then play a quick game with Shrek and thank God it's not bowling again. Instead, it's Shadow Quiz, and I absolutely kill it and get a cooking show as my prize. I then pop into Chef Pee-Pee's house and immediately give him the cooking show, and he absolutely loves it. I also pop into Junior's house and give him his favorite snack, toilet paper, but he doesn't really like it, probably because I forgot the mustard. I then go outside to see that Marvin is in a big hurry and is rushing back to his house, so I decide to focus on him. He then comes home, realizes he didn't forget to tidy up his room with nothing in it, and then just sits down on the floor. Peak living, Marvin. But he is pretty hungry, so I feed him a carrot cake. I then see Cody, Joseph, Jeffy, and Goodman are all heading to the restaurant to eat, and a little scenario plays out between Cody and Joseph. I do think this island could use just one more Mii to make our town perfectly fit though. So I start cooking up a Braxton Mii, and little side tangent, I've gotten used to a lot of the puppets over the years as an OG SML fan, but dear God, I can't get used to Braxton. This design is just nothing at all what I imagined Bowser would look like, and especially the name Braxton. I'm sorry if there's any Braxtons watching this out there. It just doesn't really fit him at all. I have gotten a little used to it, especially the design, but I just really wish Chef Pee-Pee continued to refer to him as Boss, like he did during that little gray area where they didn't have a concrete name for him yet. But I'm just yapping. This can be a topic for a whole other video. The point is we made fucking Braxton. And Braxton soon asks me what my favorite celebrity is. And I could give an honest answer for myself on who I love, or even who Logan from SML's favorite celebrity is. But those are absolutely lame choices. So I chose the lamest, but also funniest and still on target for SML humor choice that I could think of, Stanley Yellnuts from Holes. I then give Chef Peepee's house a beautiful kitchen interior that we unlocked earlier, and Jeffy and Rose end up getting into a conversation together at the restaurant. I'm then challenged to a game of group repeats by Marvin and Goodman, and sadly lose. But I catch that Junior is bored and wants company, so I drag his bestie Joseph over to him to give him some. And they end up talking about, but the conversation goes great, and they hit it off and perfectly become perfectly good, perfect friends forever perfectly. This also gives me the ability to give them both nicknames, so of course I make Joseph call Junior Dude. And since I've received 10 boosts of happiness, my residents put a little show on for me. Junior and Joseph start making art in the sand that looks scarily like Jeffy, and Goodman asked me to play a game of coin spin. And, of course, like every other minigame, I lose. And Goodman obviously starts feeling good about himself because this then happens.
What are you up to, Mr. Goodman? Marvin! Nothing! Absolutely nothing, Marvin! Is that me?
They are so in love with each other, I am going to be sick. And of course, Goodman celebrates by doing, this.
I'm in a drive-thru a Burger King. Can I please get a Whopper Jr. with onion rings?
But Brooklyn Guy seems to be keeping a close eye on Jeffy. So I poke him to go interact, and he sprints over to Jeffy to start talking about their immense passion for MFing caterpillars. And, of course, they hit it off perfectly. But wait, Goodman must be jealous. He wants to be friends with Jeffy, so he sprints over and steals Jeffy's attention from Brooklyn Guy by talking about Stanley Yellnuts, because who wouldn't want to talk about Stanley Yellnuts? We then pop into Joseph's dream to see him, trying to cross a road of chickens. Okay then, Joseph. But right after that, Shrek asks me for some food. But I can't give Shrek just any normal food. He's on a strict diet. So I hop into the pallet house and start making him a totally perfect Sara Lee cheesecake with my amazing artistic abilities, and pretend that he totally loves it and didn't make a negative reaction when I fed it to him. That's not on character, Shrek. You're supposed to love it. And right after this, Cody asked me what my most prized possession is. So I pull out the ultimate SML elite ball knowledge and write down our precious nickel. And Jeffy asked me if I think Marvin and Rose would be good friends. And I do sadly agree with him, so I decide to make them talk about the stars. Remember when Rose had a character? Me too, buddy. Me too. Their conversation goes pretty well, though, and they become pretty good friends. And I then unlock the ability to make custom treasures for our characters. So I recorded about 6 hours worth of gameplay, where a lot of things happened. Mario and Goodman got married, I made a Lewis, I made a Does Bad Things guy, I made Charlie, I made a Sara Lee OC character for Shrek to date, I even made a fucking Mama Lewis, for God's sake. But all of the footage was corrupted and got lost to time, and I felt like I literally missed out on one of the best videos that I've ever made. So I stopped until I got like 30 comments asking me where part 3 is. So Part 3 Reboot, baby! The first place I stop at when loading into our island is Junior's house, as it seems like he's in love, and he actually is. He tells me that Joseph has been on his mind a lot lately, and I'm not one to deny someone's feelings, so I go along with it, and I say it sounds like love. So, we'll see how that one goes later. But then Rose starts up a conversation with Green Marvin, asking about the nickel. Think you got the wrong Lewis, Rose. And Chef Pee-Pee asked me to do a photo shoot with him, so I take a cool little group photo that I'm just now realizing doesn't even include him. Sorry, Chef Pee-Pee. This is also a great time to mention, off camera, I saw an awesome TikTok by Void Cuts, where they gave Brooklyn guy Pooby's arm as a custom dress piece, which is absolutely genius, so I am so sorry, but I'm stealing this idea. Definitely go check out their TikToks though, and thank you for this amazing idea that I'm going to steal for all of the puppets. But Brooklyn guy then starts daydreaming about Lewis, since he is in love with him for some reason. That happened in the corrupted video, just trust me. But then as soon as I get done watching that, I check in on Mama Lewis, and he thinks that Brooklyn guy has a crush on him. Poor buddy, he has a crush on the other Lewis. Does Bad Things guy also wants to be friends with Brooklyn guy though, so I bring him over there and make them talk about the secret door, and they hit it off for some reason. I then create a personalized nickel just for Mama Luigi to hold on to, and he absolutely loves it. And Shrek starts being creepy and following and stalking Sarah Lee around. Okay then. But him stalking around must have actually impressed Sarah, as she then falls in love with him right then and there, and everything is falling right into place. Then Mr. Goodman fucking suplexes Marvin out of nowhere. What the fuck? I didn't expect this to turn into Tomodachi life living the domestic abuse, but here we are. But out of nowhere, Lewis decides he wants to try living with Marvin. Or, I'm sorry, Mario. And I say, you know what, whatever, and I agree. He then asks what him and Mario would enjoy doing together every day. And I say, getting Logan sued, because, you know, that's like his character. Him moving in also levels him up, and I'm able to give him his world-famous catchphrase, "It's a me, a Lewis." But then Sarah Lee says she wants to confess her love to Shrek, so I give her the gift of cheesecake and a pretty new dress, and I send her on her way. And Shrek absolutely loves it, and they start going out. Meanwhile, Brooklyn guy is inside of his house role-playing as him and Lewis. Okay. Lewis also asked me for a treasure that will make everyone else jealous. So, I make him his very own copy of the cease and desist. And to spice things up a little bit, I decided to add yet another me, which I decided was going to be Does Evil Things Guy. As, you know, Does Bad Things Guy needs a friend too. Sadly, he doesn't have a saw hand, as, I don't think that's possible for me to do in Tomodachi life, but lo and behold, Does Evil Things Guy. Clap, everybody. We then see a funny little cutscene of Lewis dropping his cease and desist, and Brooklyn guy picking it up for him. And then Sarah Lee decides that she wants to propose to Shrek. I play through the minigames and encourage Sarah Lee through it all, and she builds up the strength to finally propose to Shrek, and, of course, he says yes. They have their wedding, and of course, Marvin is right by Shrek's side, singing the song, and they go on a honeymoon to Oceania. And as soon as they get back, I make room for their swamp, in quotation marks, to live in together. Does Bad Things Guy also starts stalking Brooklyn guy for some reason? Okay. But since I'm adding practically the entire guy bloodline at this point, I decided to make Penelope. I bring her over to Junior, and I start developing their friendship. But I notice that Does Evil Things Guy needs help, so I bring over Does Bad Things Guy to help him, and they grow even closer. Then Jeffy asks me if him and Does Bad Things Guy make a good team.
Now say goodbye to those legs.
Sorry, no, I'm sorry, no, Jeffy. Then Braxton asks me to place a bench for him, and I say, sure, I guess. But I guess that appeased the gods or something, because that unlocked the Ferris wheel on the island. So I make room for it, and it looks beautiful. And now I can recreate Bowser Jr. Goes to the Fair. And speaking of the devil, Junior tells me he wants to become closer friends with Chef Pee-Pee. So I make them talk about putting pickles on a pizza.
Ooh, add pickles.
Junior, pickles don't go on the pizza.
Ooh, add ketchup.
Junior, ketchup don't go on the pizza either. Why would I put ketchup on the pizza?
And for some reason, Chef Pee-Pee likes it? No. But now I'm able to make Chef Pee-Pee call Junior a stupid brat, which is awesome. And Bowser tells me he wants to be friends with Charlie, so what better way to become friends with Charlie than to talk to Charlie about Charlie? And this conversation makes them good friends. Marvin is also bored and wants some company, so I bring Brooklyn Guy over to hang out since they're still not friends for some reason. Like, guys, I genuinely try to make them hang out a lot off camera. Same exact thing with Mama Luigi. I think their personalities are just, like, incompatible, which is, like, consistent to the actual show, but I want them to hang out. Hang out! Do it! But meanwhile, Does Bad Things Guy is serving up a delicious meal to Does Evil Things Guy, and is also just staring at him while he eats. Get your freaky ass out of here, bro. Penelope and Junior start hanging out, and a lot of me's gather to gossip about Logan Thirstyacre. Oh my god, this island really is accurate to real life. I also catch a glimpse of Mama Luigi protecting his nickel at the exact same time. And I feel like it's just right to round off all the guys on our island, so I started making Makes Bad Decision Guy, in which my capture card stopped working again. God damn it! Guys, subscribe so I can buy a new Elgato. But after losing like 10 minutes worth of customization footage, here is our beautiful Makes Bad Decisions Guy, along with his humble abode. And you know, since we have like all of the guys and Penelope, we might as well just round off the Guy family and make Jonathan— Jesus Christ! Yeah, I fucked up this me, I'm not even gonna lie. He looks like fucking Mort Goldman, but here's Jonathan! I also make some renovations to a lot of the Mii's rooms to more fit their personalities, and create a pretty cool secret room design for Does Bad Things Guy's house. And speaking of, Makes Bad Decisions Guy said that he wants to be friends with Bad Things Guy, so I agree, and I make them talk about the secret door. It goes beautifully, because of course it does, and as a reward for socializing, I give him a moldy piece of bread. It was at this point while I was recording that my girlfriend asked me, "Why didn't you add Karen?" To which I realized, oh wait, why didn't I add Karen? So I made a Karen me, and ooh, this might be tied with Jonathan as the worst me on my island. She looks like she chain smokes Newport. But then Does Bad Things Guy asks if him and Jeffy would make a good team. Absolutely not. I don't know why you guys keep wanting to be friends with each other. Stop that. I drag Karen over to Brooklyn Guy though, and they end up talking about Does Bad Things Guy, and Karen does her best impression of Does Bad Things Guy, and I give Karen her favorite nickname for Brooklyn Guy. Then this happens to Rose. And then I logged off for a few days since I was working a lot and had no time to record really, and then when I finally decided to hop back on, I come back to this! What do you mean Goodman and Marvin had a baby? Goodman does have 2 kids, but Marvin is not the parent of either of them, so I made this character our second SML OC named Bill. She's a girl, by the way. We watch our precious little Bill grow up, and I customized her a little bit to make her look more like a mix of Marvin and Goodman. And since she takes a lot more after Marvin and is broke, she stays living with Marvin and Goodman. Then I check up on Charlie, and he's falling in love with Bowser? I mean Braxton? And I obviously never shut down someone's feelings, so I confirm them, and now Charlie is head over heels for Braxton. Then, this happens. And as soon as Jeffy runs away, he immediately gets cut off and... Wait, no! Yeah, so Jeffy falls in love with Charlie. And, as funny as that is, I can't cock-block Braxton from his one true love, his dearly beloved Charlie. So, I politely tell Jeffy that he's just imagining things, and I shoot down his idea of love. Then, this happens with Does Evil Things guy. I check up on Bill from SML House and give them a chicken outfit. And, well, that's it. I just gave them a chicken outfit. I then catch a glimpse of Rose, Brooklyn guy, and Lewis reading the cease and desist together to provide moral support to one another. And then Charlie gives Braxton his Charlie back after he dropped it on the ground. What is happening on this island? And since I made a child of Goodman and Marvin who, like, isn't even an actual SML character, I might as well make Richard probably Goodman's most popular child. I mean, I don't think anybody really gives a shit about Benjamin, but Richard has had plenty of appearances with multiple different characters, and has grown his own decently sized little fan base of people who do want to see him come back. And he is just mini Goodman with very minor differences, so I figured he was a pretty no-brainer me to add to our island. So, behold, Richard in all of his glory. I drag him over to Junior, and he immediately gets in on the gathering of the Eating Caterpillars fan club, and Braxton asked me for a photo shoot, so I gather him up with the Guy family, Family Guy, and Charlie for a group photo shoot together. And afterwards, Karen says that she thinks Brooklyn Guy, has a crush on her. To which we see a news broadcast of Brooklyn Guy in a green bean sauna. Okay. And Lewis also asked me if I think him and Brooklyn Guy would be a great team. But unbeknownst to both him and Karen, Brooklyn Guy already has a full-on crush on Lewis. So, I guess we'll see how that goes, but for now, I say absolutely to them being a great team. And as soon as I leave, I check up on Charlie, who says that he can't hold back his feelings anymore. So, I set up a date for Charlie and Braxton on the Ferris wheel. I give a gift for Charlie, and that gift is Charlie. So Charlie gives Braxton a Charlie, and without a doubt in his mind, he instantly accepts Charlie's declaration of love, because he loves Charlie more than anything else in this world, besides Charlie. Richard also says he's lonely and wants a friend, so I make him go talk to Junior about being poor, and this went the complete opposite way I wanted it to. Chef Pee-Pee then has a dream about being a miso soup merchant, and then I walk in on Shrek and Mama Luigi praising and discussing spreading the message of the nickel across the island, which is very interesting. Nice to see that Mama Luigi nickel is the first religion on our island. And Marvin starts dreaming about some sort of stupid and dumb adventure or something. And Brooklyn Guy starts telling Goodman about how serious the secret door can be. And then, to round this video off, and to celebrate his return in a recent video after years of being missing, I made a me and added Big Red himself. He looks a little derpy, but you know what? That's okay, because he's beautiful. And I immediately introduce him to Brooklyn Guy, because you know, that's what happens in the video that he returns in. And with that is sadly where I end off this video until next time. Despite losing a lot of footage, we added a lot of characters to the island this episode, so comment down below who your favorite me I added was, or who you would like to see in general. I think I might try streaming this island, as the more bigger and bigger it gets, it kinda gets hard to capture all the little things happening on the island, so if you guys would like to see me stream the SML island, definitely let me know down below. But with all of that, I will see you all next time, and goodbye.